prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as...
Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the world's gonna take this.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Pain User.
And this is Cat's Pajamas.
And we are back with another game for you guys. This is Winner's Bracket Round 2, and we have a TVT on Xel'Naga Caverns between our red Terran player, Meet Your Makers ClouD, and our blue Terran player. At the top position is Imba Strelok. Strelok rolling through Kiwikaki in the first round of the Winner's Bracket. Very, very impressive games.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I'm expecting great things from him throughout this tournament. Those were just such impressive games, such clean build orders, and I always love it when I see players like that, especially, you know, you see very clean builds with Terran players a lot of the time. It's hard to say that a Zerg player particularly has a clean build order, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah, I mean, because Zerg players can just switch and do whatever they want at any given point in time, but, you know, Terran players can only produce one unit at a time from each of their structures, so, yeah, I see what you're getting at. And, you know, the thing that really stood out to me in the Kiwikaki set was not that, you know, Strelok was even playing so well, was that, you know, Kiwikaki didn't play bad games.
No,
he was making the right transitions, he was making the right moves, he was reacting the right way, and Strelok just obliterated him.
Yeah,
I mean,
he made it look
wow.
like he wasn't even playing against Kiwikaki.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, that's a testament to how well he played. It didn't look like he was playing a Kiwikaki at all. And to diminish a player like Kiwikaki takes some phenomenal play. And so those builds were just awesome. It reminded me of the first, you know, couple series that I watched of Thorzane in the TSL. Just one of those players with unbelievably clean build orders. I love watching Thorzane as well. And so let's see what Strelok has in store for us with some TVT. Obviously, that first set we saw was TVP. But Strelok notorious for having a very solid TVT. He's one of those great TVT players, along with, you know, all the Eastern Bloc Terrans. I mean, they all have great TVT, and I think it's because there's so many good Terrans from Ukraine and the surrounding area, so they probably play together all the time. I mean, I can't imagine that him and Braddock, you know, aren't playing all the time.
And let's be honest, Eastern Europe has just been a powerhouse for StarCraft players in general.
And for Terran, especially for
absolutely.
Terran. They have so many talented Terrans. Just in this tournament alone, you know, so many Terrans have qualified for the IPL too, and we do have a gasless FE coming out of ClouD here. A little bit of a risky build on this map, just because your natural's so wide open and obviously the short distances. You do see a lot of players actually go for the gasless FE on this map just to kind of take a real quick economic lead and then run away with it, but he is following up with dual gas, so he's not going to be powering up that heavy rack style of play. He's probably going to get a really early factory, and Strelok already going into a defensive posture.
Yeah, and this is funny because, you know, it was this position in the Kiwikaki set that you were really happy with and that you really liked what players did, and it still kind of gives him the same opportunity to sit back with a closer concave, use the bunker for range and things like that, and deflect early pressure. Now, of course, the walls are a little bit more suspect in TVT because siege tanks can just obliterate your supply as time goes along, but it's still, this is going to keep him supremely defended at the beginning of this game.
Well, it's great against Hellions, and that's, I was kind of highlighting that in an earlier series, that, you know, the wall can be a double-edged sword. You can use it to block Hellions, which is great, assuming, you know, if your opponent opens with reactored Hellions or super quick blue flame or something along those lines. Oftentimes people will try and do a drop in the back, distract you, run Hellions up the ramp, or they'll do a marine drop in the back and then run Hellions up the ramp. And if you're playing somebody who uses that style of, you know, distraction in the back of your base and tries to run Hellions in, the wall can be outstanding. You know, it just prevents that entirely. Sure. But as you said earlier, if there's some kind of an early aggressive siege tank push, if he has something to spot the high ground, he can kill both those supply depots and put you in a really awkward situation where you can't build units.
And it looks like ClouD is actually, you know, really nice positioning on his buildings once again. He has supply depots sitting around his refineries to prevent any harassment around the back. And he himself is going to a tech lab factory. Quite a bit of gas saved up, so we'll probably see those siege tanks here in just a second. Indeed, siege tank number 1 is coming up, and he's just producing out of 2 barracks at the moment. Nice scan goes down, does see everything that ClouD has. ClouD, wow, actually took quite a while to drop down that orbital command over to his natural. Was more worried about just, I don't know, want to say abusing it, but just getting out those quick SCVs, really fast saturation on his main.
Yeah, and also, you know, I think he was just waiting until a timing in the game where he felt absolutely safe. If you rush things too early, oh, not to mention also that he didn't follow up that gasless FE with an additional 3 racks. A lot of times you'll see someone go up to 4 racks, they'll start pumping out Marines, and that gives you a feeling of safety. But if you drop the double gas immediately after the racks and go straight to a factory, you're not going to feel safe for quite a while, and waiting until Siege was about maybe a quarter of the way done and his first tank was out before he actually headed down. And really, you know, he only has 8 Marines and a siege tank to his name for defense right now, and we do have a Reaper and several Marines coming in for Strelok. He might be able to accomplish something here. Could do a little bit of damage, but I think that siege tank will be able to hold this off even without siege. It doesn't really matter.
Yep, and siege is just going to finish up right now, so ClouD gets in a little more defensive position, and Strelok has to back off. But Strelok has defended his expansion. That's up for the time being. He does also have 3 racks into a factory and a starport. He's actually just going to switch the tech here. It looks like going for a primarily Marine-oriented build. Combat shields just coming up for the moment, and indeed, we are just seeing mass Marines out of Strelok.
And I don't have a problem with this whatsoever. Weapons 1 is about to finish. Combat shield is about to finish. You can use those Marines for so many things. Map control, he's clearing the rocks at his gold right now. He's adding, he's getting all of his add-ons right now. Is that a double reactor we have on the Raxes? Yes, I think it is.
And there's the second one, yes.
Going up to that super heavy Marine production, and we do have a 3rd CC coming, and it looks like he might be floating that over to the 3 o'clock position, and actually it might be to the gold. It really depends. He could go to the 3 o'clock, he could go to the gold, just only time will tell. We will have to see what he ends up doing with that, but it is a very early 3rd, and he's looking to run away with this macro lead just a little bit. But one problem I foresee is that we already have 3 tanks out on the field for ClouD, and in the event that he takes that gold, you know, ClouD is going to have a field day sieging up that gold with these tanks before Strelok even has tanks on the field.
This is a really nice style, though, because what it's going to allow him to do is, let's say, you know, ClouD decides to make a push or something like that. Strelok can go right into, like, Marine King Prime style. Okay, I'll load up a drop, send it over here, and force you to bring all of your units back to defend against this, and just really, really go against the lack of mobility there that ClouD has. And it looks like Strelok is going to add another factory at this point, finally starting to add tanks. Let's see if this actually gives him the factory lead. I believe it does. So even though he has had a deficit in tanks for the moment, he will be able to double produce those and catch up in a pretty short period of time. 3rd base coming up for ClouD as well. So both these players playing pretty passive, just sitting back and wanting to accomplish the macro game.
Yeah, no action yet, but we do have Strelok setting up his units to the left of that Zelnaga. It looks like he might be going for a little bit of a flank here. He might stim and try and get in, although he will get cut off here. Tanks sieging up for Strelok. Oh no, never mind that. ClouD. Strelok now stimming in, bypassing the tanks, takes out 2 Vikings immediately, and he has cleared his way into the main. What a brilliant maneuver from Strelok right here.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's going to be able to stim up again and take out a ton of SCVs. So much economy being lost at this time. Looks like these SCVs falling as well. Let's take a look actually at the lost SCV count. 15 workers have been killed altogether. At the same time, Strelok was actually moving down to the Zelnaga Tower with another force of units as well. So even though this will get cleaned up, the damage has already been done, and ClouD, wow, already with a supply, already a deficit in supply. Wow, actually the last Marines just getting cleared up there. So very brilliant little attack, little harassment there out of Strelok.
I mean, I saw him setting up for the flank maneuver. He was ready to go. He had that Reaper holding the Zelnaga Tower. As soon as he saw ClouD begin to move out, began moving his troops around the south position, stimming to clear his way of those tanks. Just such brilliant moves from Strelok right there. And now Strelok pre-sieging his tanks, although it looks like ClouD is going to try and take out the tanks here. I don't know if that was the best decision from ClouD. Strelok having more than enough Marines to clean up ClouD's, and he will remain safe. Picking up the last remaining Marines, going to go drop those on top of the siege tanks. Might lose that medevac though. Oh, when he does get out of there, manages to keep that medevac alive. So now just a little bit of a siege war here, but Strelok does have air superiority. He has a Viking out on the field, and keep in mind, he picked off those 2 Vikings of Cloud's as he went into the main, just getting everything he could out of that drop. Cloud just now starting to take his gold, but I feel like Strelok is absolutely running away with this game, and the supplies do reflect that. 125, 290 right now, and Strelok just looking absolutely stellar in this game.
Yeah, and Strelok's going to swing around for an attack here around the back. Cloud, that was smartly putting down that supply depot, so he will catch wind of this, but even if he does, he may not have the units to go ahead and respond to this. Cloud swinging around the right-hand side, and let's take a look here. Looks like Strelok's still just on those 2 factories. He is going to get down with these Marines, though, and take out the supply depot, so that is going to fall. At the same time, Strelok is going ahead and running his units down to the right, and so taking control of the map, being able to take out whatever structures he possibly can. Planetary Fortress is down for both players. Cloud not deciding to go to an orbital command to try and catch up or anything like that, and he is falling farther and farther back. Now 161 supply to 113. Huge advantage for Strelok, and let's take a look at the upgrades. He's on 1-1. Cloud is on 1-1 as well. Looks like finally an armory coming up for Cloud, though, to start some further upgrades.
Yeah, both players now just maneuvering through the middle of the map. Looks like we are going to get those sensor towers in the proper positions in mid, making it very difficult to surprise your opponent. Makes the positional war much easier for you, but these Vikings spotting for Strelok are making all the difference in the world right now, allowing him to continually siege Cloud's tanks. Cloud obviously forced to use scans here. Strelok once again flying in with that low medevac, trying to drop a few Marines on top of those tanks. I don't think they were too happy about that. And we do have a small flank coming in here for Strelok, but it looks like Cloud is on top of things. He has Marines in position, but sent them to the wrong location. Looks like Strelok might be able to get a few more SCV kills here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to get quite a few more, as a matter of fact. And it looks like Cloud does run in, finally clears it up. A few more units ran into the main, but it looks like they were killed by subsequent reinforcements coming out for Cloud. So Strelok just pushing his units forward, knows he has a huge advantage, and knows he can go ahead and make a couple of riskier pushes just to start to force Cloud off of this mining base. So Cloud is, let's see here, just rallying units up to this frontal engagement. May want to try and break this position from Strelok. I think Strelok realizes that he has to run back in with his units here up at the top right. He's going to make his way in. Nice scan does go down. Looks like Cloud is going to lose a couple of units pretty quickly. I think even A-clicking one of his own medevacs there.
Accidentally A-clicking his own medevac right there, insta-popping it with all those Marines. And Strelok just in such a good position right now. He's able to swing around the right side with his Marines. He has virtually the entire of mid covered with a siege tank spread. And whose command center is that? Strelok, looking to take the 3 o'clock position as he continues to send that siege tank line down the right side of mid. So he will be covering towards that 3 o'clock expansion with his siege tanks, and now sending a bunch of Marines around the back through John's Common Knowledge hallway, and I think this might be the flank that he's been waiting for.
Yeah,
there are only 2 to 4 Marines right now from Cloud, and all these Marines just coming straight into the natural, and he's going to start working down those SCVs, forced to pull all of his SCVs off the line. Meanwhile, both players fighting for position in mid.
Yep, absolutely, and it looks like Cloud does have the bigger straight line engagement force, but right now Strelok is doing all the damage in the world. He has taken out so many supply depots. He's also gone through a number of these units as well. Looks like Strelok just going to load up and try and get into the main, but Cloud moves over. Is he going to pick off the medevac? He does. Medevac goes down. That is bad for Strelok, but he still has a huge advantage right now. Cloud is going to have to put down a ton of supply depots, sinking all of his minerals into those at that moment. At the same time, Strelok does have +1 upgrades on his tanks. He's gathering a big force, and he's going to start flanking that around the side. He will be able to protect this command center quite easily, so he still has the larger force. Looks like Cloud may want to get into range here, and these Vikings already winning the positioning war for Strelok. Strelok will have vision. Cloud is going to be forced to back up back to the planetary fortress.
Yeah, Strelok just able to find small windows of opportunity throughout this game where he can inflict pretty decent amounts of damage, and now winning the positioning war in mid. It looks like Cloud is just going to completely circumvent this and go to the left-hand side where Strelok has already began reinforcing. He does have siege tanks there and enough Marines to take hits while the siege tanks shell away on Cloud losing heavy numbers of siege tanks right there, and I don't think he can afford this. It looks like he's going to continue to push on the gold, but He's leaving his backside completely undefended. He does not have enough tanks at his gold, and Strelok sieging his gold from the low ground. Beautiful positioning right there. Oh, actually losing a few SCVs of his own at the gold right now, and the PF is getting quite low, but it looks like Strelok will be able to clean this up, accidentally rallying quite a few units right there. ClouD's tanks working their magic, but neither player mining from their gold. It looks like we have split relatively even here, but keep in mind Strelok has that fourth base where he is healthily mining.
And here comes Strelok. He's actually going to deny all the rest of the mining that ClouD is doing. ClouD is just forced to stand in there and engage, and all this time the supply depots are going down, the SCVs are going down, and ClouD is being reduced to almost no mining. The rest of his units do get cleared up here over at the PF at the gold for Strelok. Strelok will bring back his SCVs, do a little bit of a repair there, and he is continuing to do damage to ClouD's PF as well. Looks like another base has come up, so ClouD could drop down another command center down at the bottom right if he's able to secure the position, but right now he looks to be in a very bad position. Strelok continuing to win this engagement. Marines running forward. ClouD is forced to GG. Strelok takes game number 1. Didn't even get to use the nuke he was producing.
That's too bad. We always love nukes, but you know, Strelok just playing such a beautiful positioning game. He was just constricting ClouD that entire game, and I think towards the end there, ClouD just feeling a little bit choked up. Strelok covering a majority of the map, just able to continue to press his siege tanks forward and continuously flanking through John's common knowledge hallway at the bottom and killing so many SCVs. So just beautifully played right there, and Strelok taking the first game in this series up 1-0.
Absolutely. So guys, we're going to head into game number 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second.